Paintings are full of unsolved mysteries. To understand the mystery of each picture, you have to get acquainted with the life and thoughts of its creator. Let these paintings come to life. Watch our new TV program at the gallery.
Watching the painting is also work, I think. It should give pleasure, but it shouldn't be just visually pleasing. No, it is a somewhat disputable pleasure, but when it involves the work of a consciousness, when a viewer uncovers something, some meaning, when it is not just the work of the author's mind, then yes, it is worth much. It is work, and it is this work that gives pleasure, and not just the external effect, that of the picture. Eccentric figures, strange big faces, looking like masks, and incredible layering of colors. These images became brand identity of the artist Andrey Noda long ago. Not everyone and not at once can unravel the sense of his paintings. It always slips away, resisting to our attempts to get to the heart of the matter. As if the artist plays with us, offering one riddle after another. Let us try to solve at least some of them. Andrey Noda and his painting City Beach. Historical reference: City Beach painting by Andrey Noda, 2005, oil on canvas. Noda is absolutely stunningly counterintuitive. He paints absolutely not in the way painting should be painted. He breaks all cogitable rules, although it seems there is scarcely anything that still can be broken at the end of the 20th century. But if we wish to put a label on him, we won't be able to do it. Biographical reference: Andrey Noda, painter, sculptor, graphical artist, the member of the Union of Artists of Kazakhstan, the laureate of the Independent National Tarlan Award, was born in Alma-Ata in 1962, graduated from the Alma-Ata Institute of Theatre and Arts, the participant of the International, Union and Republican exhibitions. People usually say, I can do this too. But no, nothing like that, dear Sage. You can't. If such ideas appear in your mind, then it means you can't. You can do it in your own way, but not like that. Please do it. Oils and brushes are sold everywhere. Show us. But oh no, never goes beyond a simple conversation. Andrey Noda created over 1,000 works in painting, graphical art, photograph and ceramics. Andrey Noda's works are exhibited in the museums and private collections in Kazakhstan, Russia, England, Scotland, Israel, the USA, Germany and France. The artist lives and works in the Almaty region in his own workshop built in Talga Gorge. Andrey Noda started exhibiting his work when he was a student of the Institute of Theatre and Arts. Since then, he has been participating in exhibitions all the time. His extraordinary manner attracted attention of the art fanciers from the very beginning. I think the moment when I established myself as an artist, not as a painter or a graphical artist, but just as an artist, for the artist is not a profession, it is like a rank or the style of life. So this moment when I established myself was the painting Flautist in 1986. So, let's just work in a barbarian way. Just like that. That's how it's done.
When you look at Andrey Noda paintings, it seems that it is kind of a game, an amusement. But if you get involved in this painting, you think that the artist plays with you, amusing and joking, and you start perceiving it a bit lightheartedly.
Finally, the process shapes up into a serious game.
Of course, he's not going to amuse you, he's going to tell you about his world.
How can anyone like it?
You know, I still got a question how this is possible. Generally, you shouldn't like it.
His works cannot be called beautiful in a common sense. More likely they are odd. But for real, they are incredibly beautiful. They are beautiful for those who understand them.
I think all I speak of is clear. These are people, this is fish, this is a flower, or this is a mountain, and those are two jars over there. It is realism for me. I don't paint anything intricate or abstract, no.
In Noda's paintings, the whole world looks different from what we are used to. It is some completely new view. Of course, they contain puzzles, just like the paintings of many modern artists.
Well, of course, the form is a kind of counterintuitive and maybe rough, and not for everyone to understand, and even lines may not be understood by everyone. But here what it seems to be a painting. But there always be someone who comes up and asks, what is this? How is it? Why is it like that? What is it for?
Anyone who sees Noda's paintings won't forget them, but they would annoy those who are used to one norm, who are used to realism. And they don't understand, don't see, don't want to notice that the world is diverse and eternally multiplex. And Andrey Noda has given us just one more perspective of the view at this eternally diverse world. And of course the passive bored viewer, who's used to comprehend art as a customer, such viewer would scarcely perceive anything in Andrey Noda's art. The creative viewer, just like the artist himself, is required here.
The artist does not describe what city is it, which beach is showing and what people rest there and what emotions they feel. He allows finalizing the storyline of the painting using the viewer's own abundant fantasy.
What is his shape? What if we look at it essentially? There are always certain schemes, always some absolutely primitive figures, as if he generalizes the whole world. The world, it could be called micro-world or macro-world. It depends on whether he raises up to such categories or summits and levels of generalization. When you agree that this image is a certain cross-section of a human eye.
Of course it's made on certain feelings, on scarcely fixed moments which are ephemeral, light and fleeting. Everything is formed of varied things such as small, and colour, and light.
But the fact that the faces he paints are so big and they occupy so much space in any of his works is not occasional. Just recall faces on Matisse's paintings. He also painted big faces. That's what the center of the world, a human.
Historical reference. Henri Matisse, born in 1869, died in 1954, French artist and sculptor who in many aspects envisioned the development of art in the 20th century. The leader of the Fauvist school, acute generalization of scape and volume and putting shape to simple contour are peculiar for Fauvists. The artistic expression is achieved due to the rhythm, acuteness, bright coloring, contrast colors and intensively open local color. On Matisse's paintings, woman's nose could be colored green. Matisse asserted, "It is not women I paint paintings." Rejection to copy reality, generalization and simplification of shapes, playing colors appeared in modern art not by chance. It is the result of delicate and thorough work of the outstanding artists of the past century, who were seeking for the new methods of reflecting their mental outlook. The renewed depiction of this world, which was the closest to the perception of the world in our century, might be found in Cézanne's paintings. Rolling volumes of the air and ground, and subjects generalized to simple shapes, Cézanne influenced various art schools. Ultimately expressive Van Gogh's painting repelled his contemporaries by roughness and frankness of the painting methods. But later, these works conquer the audience by the amazing skill and humanness of their author. The artist doesn't try to copy what he sees exactly. He uses color spontaneously, just in order to express what he wishes most fully. Gauguin, who lived at the same time with Van Gogh, turns to primitivism, archaic art, to the very roots of artistic thinking. The decorative style in painting Gauguin discovered attracted many painters.
Everyone knows the case with Pablo Picasso, who was a very talented artist. From the age of 7, he already painted with his father, and at the age of 13, he went to the Barcelona Art Academy. At the end of his life, being a master, he said, "At the age of 13, I painted as a master, but I needed a whole life to learn how to paint as a child." And this is the very important peculiarity of the 20th century art.
The brightest representative of Cubism, Picasso generalizes the shape in the most radical way. He demonstrates the subject seen from all sides at a time, from the inside and from the outside. The formation of the modern art thinking is completed by Kandinsky. Offering to bring art to the pure spirituality, he works out the innovative concept of rhythmical use of color in painting and becomes one of the founders of abstractionism. Andrey Noda doesn't pursue the outward similarity. For him, it is important to reveal the inner sense of the reality and express the absolute maximum with help of the minimum expressive means. The difficult thing will be because I've set a difficult task. But it is what this work is interesting for. Maybe sometimes you set impractical tasks, and when you try to overcome it, something may work out. Not only something interesting, but even something outstanding.
His main characters are always people just like him. They are poets, being in their imaginary world, which is not related to ours at all.
The artist builds his composition at the crossing of diagonals. In the center of this crossing, we see the figures of a man and a woman, like a single whole, like a main plotline and compositional center of the painting.
It may seem that if it's a beach, there should be sand, while he paints green because he doesn't need any other color. He needs this color of green, which gives the feeling of the flourishing nature.
Most likely I was attracted by some absurdist idea. It isn't absurd. Primarily, the beach in the city is an absurd. That's why I try to conceive it and depict it.
Those are metaphoric analogies. It is a very complicated chain. We can say that, for example, in the beach, the green color is ringing and shows this energy of communication in the nature. When nothing burdens the character, neither his feelings nor his thoughts.
Andrey Noda is captivated by the search of color. But the color is not an end in itself. The artist needs it to express feelings most precisely and to reflect reality hidden from eyes. For it is no mere chance the paintings are called colored realism. Reality of feelings. Are my feelings real? They are, and I reflect them. Everything is regular and logical here, nothing is strange. Well, I think so.
The way the musician extracts his sounds, the same way his colors appear, sometimes even the way he doesn't realize, because he feels this world intuitively and he conveys it in the same way. That's why realism doesn't suit Noda, because he's not going to make the exact copy of the world. He's going to express it allegorically, in an encoded, symbolic way.
But it is the most important to mix colours. Mix colours, you see, mix them, create the colour grade. Well, this process is like play for a kitten. It's eternal, and I'm still not tired of it after all these years. The artist almost doesn't use any complicated color combinations in the background of the painting. Only figures have the complicated combinations, shades, and various color nuances, which allows to outline the most important in the painting. Our world is no longer humane, not because there are wars and catastrophes, but because technologies have created the world without support point. There is no frame of reference. The most stable basics of the human consciousness are lost, or appear to be different. And the artist, as the most sensitive and intuitive mechanisms which conceive time, they conceive it most precisely, more precisely than the others. Andrey Noda opposes love to insecurity and indeterminism of the modern world. It is the main universal truth of the world's backbone, and it doesn't matter whether you love a woman, you work, or just life. It is a feeling due to which you are not just a human anymore, you become color, light, when you do not just tread the ground, but hover over it. Green is a delicate feeling, it is spring. We usually say that love comes in spring, or people fall in love. It's blooming, it is expectation for something new. The figure there is like a single whole, but at the same time they are as if spread it over the space, because they have freedom in their souls. Love is freedom, it is happiness. Well, it is not invented, it's something desired for me. It's like a dream. It's hardly expressed, but different reality. Or the reality I wish there would be. The world may be the pure catastrophe, but there are two who are the isle of happiness. For when the two people in love look at each other or kiss each other, they forget of everything in the rest of the world. The external world doesn't exist any longer, just two of them do. Anyway, everything comes to love, you know. Whatever you do, there would be love at the end. It is doubtful that we have solved the riddles of colored faces looking like masks. But there is no doubt that these strange images say that the truth and the sacred is never on the surface. Each of us hides it deep inside, under the mask. The artist Andrey Noda speaks to what is hidden behind the mask, with our real essence, with beliefs, hopes, and seeks for support in this unpredictable and indefinite world.